来，掌声鼓励一下。
If you rented a house and you're a children with you at home all the time, because it's a visa regulations, it's a requirement by New Zealand law. So it's good. So we look after you very well. The law is
okay, so I want to make my thought clearly. So does the students in Rose Hill College can directly go to the university? Because in Taiwan we can move to university. For example, this school is called Affiliate Senior High School, and it means that you can directly come from. Oh yes, that is my question.
Yes, our system is different. It doesn't mean that just because you attend Rosehill College, you automatically can go through to university. You have to pass your exams in order to get what in New Zealand is called university entrance. Once you have university entrance, then you may apply particular subjects that they will accept you into a particular course of study. But there isn't a go-to. So for example, if you want to get into medicine, you have to have a higher grade point average than if you wanted to do commerce say, or business. And so long as you make that, then you go into university. Okay, main subjects for us, we have obviously English, countries. If the national examinations cover their even if you don't actually study it, so Mandarin is an examination. There's the sciences, physics, chemistry, biology. There's practical art, painting, photography, design. They're all part of your pathway to university, if you should so wish. And some of the technologies.
Similar to National Taiwan University, it is a school that combines many subjects. Because in Taiwan, there's particular schools that only put their main all kind of variety students, and students can attend this university. Thank you.
There's a concept about the working holiday. Yes, and I would like to know, at our age, how can we to do the working holiday, and as a result, I would like to know, is the working holiday is really a good thing for us? Yeah.
You're a full-time student, international student. You are allowed to work 20 hours per week on your student visa, and then you can work over our summer holiday, which is from December and January. You can work full-time. Once you finish high school, and if you've done part of your university, you can apply for a holiday work visa. You do that through the New Zealand consulates in Taipei. There is limited opportunity available to Taiwanese because it does get very popular. But it's according to what certain degree, because immigration rules have just changed in the last year. Okay, but if you're at high school and you're a full-time international student and you're over the age of 16, you can work 20 hours per week. We to travel and see part of the country as well. We then have 10 weeks for a first term, a 2-week holiday, 10 weeks, 2 weeks holiday, and so on. And during those 2-week holidays, many students do travel to see some of the snow mountains and go skiing and things like that. New Zealand is very much an outdoor activities type of place.
Hello. I want to know if I can
find the job in New Zealand when I graduate from the college. Find a job.
Education visa. It would be quite hard for a student who had been here in New Zealand on an education visa, on a student visa, to leave high school.
Someone asked me to ask you, when can New Zealand people get married?
I have an interesting question to ask. That a few years ago, there is a referendum that New Zealand creates. That is whether you want to change your current flag to another. Yes, but the referendum says that you won't change your current flag, and I want to know why. Because your situations compared to Taiwan's and China's situation is a little bit different. But I think the situations can be compared together. Yes, and yes, I want to ask why you don't want to change the flag that contains British flags to the new one.
One of the reasons we looked at what we wanted to change the flag was we didn't like having the Union Jack, and our flag is exactly the same as Australia, except our stars are red and Australia's stars are white, and they have a couple of extra stars. So when people would look at the Australian flag and the New Zealand flag, it doesn't look very different.
The older voters, the older people in New Zealand, wanting to stay with the status quo with what we had for various reasons, possibly partly because it was the flag that they or their parents had fought under during the World Wars. There are people who, as you can tell, Anne has an accent. She is from Northern Ireland, was born there. Mine is a British accent, I was born in England. So there's still a lot of people who are attached to England who live in New Zealand and who like to have the British flag as part of our flag.
The main job opportunity that is provided by Australia's company, is it belongs to agriculture or high tech, or? And another question is that are there a lot of working opportunity in New Zealand?
Agriculture has always been the base of New Zealand's economy. And at one stage, New Zealand had 60 million sheep and 3 million people. So every person would go out and say, there's 20 sheep out there for me. However, what now is value added is not just growing raw material. It is actually adding high tech into the agriculture sector. And so that is a huge area of development. There are things moving in that direction now, so that somebody who is in agriculture, traditionally called a farmer, would be standing at the gate of his paddock. He has moisture sensors planted throughout the paddock. He knows what nutrients are in the paddock. He knows what he has to, and he's doing it from a cell phone. So that combination between Taiwan high tech and New Zealand agriculture is the way of the future. We also are increasingly developing other high-tech industries. Driverless cars. I saw last week there's a company in Christchurch that is starting to develop its own driverless car. So obviously they need a large amount of high-tech thinking behind what they're doing. In the film industry, some of the very high-tech graphics and media are present within the film industry. High-tech is definitely the way to go. I don't think New Zealand at the moment, we're not manufacturing cell phones or that sort of thing. We're using that thinking to further what we are good at. Thank you.
Q&A. Thank you very much.
Yeah.